We painted them black. These are all open now, there's nothing actually in there. That one on the left over there, we might go for a peek in a second, is our OG YouTube studio. Shout out to Ricky Bobby. I think we should probably, yeah, we're gonna take that back with us actually. The only way to get rid of moles is to kill them. Now, I envisage like a mole family that made this their home at some point. No, it's missing a wheel. Someone's come in and stole the fucking wheel. Oh no, it is there. I've never actually ever been in either one of those sheds. It could be full of dead bodies. I'm only just realizing now how big of a space this actually is. So we've had a absolute shit ton of requests to give you guys a tour of our new training facility, but what I thought would be a nice idea is if we brought you to our old training facility so you can have an idea of kind of where the YCA started as a point of reference to where we are now, right? So we're at Kings Lane in Leeds, where the YCA first started. I'm gonna get Kobe out my car so he can come on the tour with us. I brought one of the dogs with me today. And then I'll give you a little bit of history about the YCA very quickly before we head up to the new place where I can give you a full tour there. So just give me a second. He's not in there. He's in this one. I don't even think Kobe's ever been here before. Oh no, he will have done. Yeah, no, he definitely will have done. These were just like a shit horse stables. I'll throw a picture up here of what they used to look like. We painted them black. These are all open now. There's nothing actually in there. Interestingly, that one on the left over there, we might go for a peek in a second, is our OG YouTube studio, where we just like fucking like planked out the back. There's probably a better word for that. Anyway, like cladded the back to make it look not like a fucking horse stable. When we first moved in, that was just full of shit, like actual shit, like oil drums full of real fucking horse shit that we had to clear out, Kirky and I. And then one of the old drums was actually full of wasps. So that was a fucking perilous endeavor. Interesting story about these posts. There's like hardcore under this fucking car park. We had to use like this big borrower to kind of drill these holes in for these posts, which Kirky did single-handedly, the man fucking mountain he is, to get through the adequate level of base layer in order to give us the stability required to put up this little shitty fucking mesh fence. We then sanded it, put this Astro over. This was all built in at one point, but a couple of storms absolutely fucked us. We had a few gazebos. And again, like initially YCA was just this kind of 12.5 meter by 8 meter space. That was the Yorkshire Canine Academy in its entirety. And then what we did from there is we brought in this container as like an office slash shop. Shout out to the girls, specifically Suzanne and Chloe, who are OG staff members, used to use these as like offices. Now, yeah, we got heaters in there, we got the electrics all wired up, probably broke a fucking number of various laws, which we're not at the moment. In fact, that was just a joke for the sake of this video. Again, this is all open. Feel free to come and steal this shit. It just do us this favor instead of like moving it. There's actually nothing to steal here. Stinks of fucking mold. Yeah, this was like a shop slash consult room slash just like really fucking cold refrigerator office. Again, the OG staff had to endeavor. Then we brought in 2 more containers. That one's basically just storage pretty much. We had some like dog crates in there, and like interestingly, you know, we put in an air conditioning unit in that one and a heater as well, because of like when the dogs were in there, they never stayed in there just like throughout the day and shit like that. We wanted them to have like the best conditions, whereas conversely the staff office we had put in, it didn't have that shit. So the dogs were actually in better conditions than the humans. Again, shout out to the staff. So yeah, we've obviously the foxes, and some people have maybe even tried to rob us at some point, looking like there's fucking shit everywhere. I'll give you a quick peek in this one before we move on. This was like the predominant office when we finished up here. It seems like there's been leaks and everything. Shout out to Ricky Bobby. I think we should probably, yeah, we're going to take that back with us actually. If you're not first, you're last. And this was a daily reminder. Well, if you're not first, you are last, you know. So yeah, we're going to take Ricky with us and give the Ricky to the cameraman. Thank you, Lucas. Brings us on to the main field. I'm going to throw up some before pictures of this field. Now, as far as fields go, it's not the best field in the world. It's actually been completely and utterly destroyed by moles. Now, the whole time, we were actually encouraged to get rid of the moles. We were actually encouraged, you know, because someone might trip over a molehill and fucking break their ankle. However, you know, the only way to get rid of moles would be, shut up. The only way to get rid of moles, come here, is to kill them. Now, I envisage like a mole family that made this their home at some point. Now, you could call them pests and vermin, whatever you want, but I didn't feel okay with just like fucking absolutely nuking a whole mole family. So we decided not to and just put up with the fucking fucking the hills. I think they had character anyway. So yeah, before we got to this place, this was just fucking mud. This was just mud. There was not a single blade of fucking grass on this field, and we had to seed it, we had to churn it all up and all that shit and all that agricultural technical stuff where I have no clue about. Over there's where we had our big fence. Obviously, like, someone's been through our boxes evidently and pulled a bunch of shit out. TP we could probably take back with us too. This is where we done group classes, and yeah, beyond this point there's like a big ass field there that isn't fenced in, and then away through to like Golden Acre Park. So that big field is probably one of the better aspects of the OG YCA. Again, there's probably a couple of bits and bobs we can probably take back with us. Again, looks like the wind and storms and weather have done their part, so I'm gonna have to send down poor Pablo at some point to give this place a bit of a cleanup, so we're doing our due diligence to the environment. So yeah, other than like beyond this point, there's just a big field there, which is a great field, but it can get really mucky, and I've got my going out trainers on, so we're not going to go over there today. We could probably do it taking that back too. Now it's missing a wheel. Someone's come in and stole the fucking wheel. Oh no, it is there. So yeah, this is OG YCA. Once upon a time it was just that initial paddock that you saw back over there. Interesting couple of facts about the car park. All this gravel, the majority of it was actually laid by a very famous dog trainer, and I'll give you a couple of guesses in the comments at this point, who actually come down, volunteered his time one day, took a break from signing autographs, kissing babies and signing titties and such, and actually come to be a part of the legacy that is the Yorkshire Canine Academy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was no one other than the mutt nut himself. He actually took his shirt off, spent a couple of days down here a summer ago, maybe last summer. So yeah, that was it. That was the whole YCA. We had loads of problems here with weather. We had loads of problems here with our staff just fucking freezing themselves to nigh on death. Kobe's taking Ricky Bobby for a walk. You go enjoy it, Kobe. Come on, get it. Good man. Go on. You help yourself. Oh, okay. R.I.P. Ricky. Come here. Get it. Come here. Okay. Out. No. That's gonna go back in the truck. Put that over there. We want to look after Ricky. Ricky's part of the legacy too. So yeah, behind the stables was where our bathroom was, which is a portaloo, which is, you know, since been taken away. There's a couple of bottles hanging around. Again, seems like someone's been through the bins here and kicked a bunch of shit everywhere. So we're gonna have to send the team up with a couple of litter pickers some point this week. I'm gonna close this up. Not that there's any fucking point, you know. We'll take a little quick peek in here, see what's going on. And again, like, this place was great. I love this place. It served us very well. This was our very first office. All right, get off. Go back. Right, which in hindsight is just nuts. Here's a coffee machine that the rats ended up eating, so we thought it'd be a great idea to have a commercial coffee machine for our clients, but then the rats got in and chewed up all the fucking wires and shit. And then over here is, which again is in the dark. I don't think the lights worked. I'll probably end up killing myself. This is our YouTube studios. A lot of our YouTube videos, if you follow us on YouTube, which you'd probably do because this is on YouTube, it's like Inception for YouTube. Yeah, this is where it was all filmed. So absolutely crazy. It's almost nostalgic to be back here. No, Kobe, come on. Even though it's not, we didn't even move out all that long ago. Kobe likes bottles. Good boy, Kobe. Okay. Drop out something. No. Come here, out. Okay, you're gonna just leave that and litter? I'm gonna pick some of this shit up, and then we're gonna go for a very short drive. Out. Are you fucking kidding me? Out. Thing is, with toys with a little bit of give, it emulates something like being killed and dying, so that's my excuse for not getting him to let go of that toy. I'm gonna put that in there and we'll, hey, alrighty. Okay, that's us. We're gonna go head up to New YCA, give you a tour of that place, and you can see all the staff and shit like that. Come on, Cobes. Go on. It's not going well between us today, is it, Kobe? Kobe! Good boy, come on. No, come on, you get in it. No, you can't do that. Get in there. Good boy. All right, come on, Lucas. Oh. I've taken on camera duties from Lucas while he goes and closes the gate. Oh, you almost hit my truck then, young man. All right, so now we're gonna go head up to New YCA, which is literally like 2 minutes away in a vehicle. Super excited to give everyone a tour. Again, I wanted to show you the old YCA just so you had a point of reference of what we're up to nowadays and like where we come from. I really wish I'd done this vlog when we first moved in, but again, I didn't think like anyone would give a fuck about like us on YouTube or anything. Right, so what Lucas has done here, which is amazing, is actually locked himself inside the facility, which now means it is required for him to essentially essentially parkour his way out of old YCA, which I find fucking incredible. One of the worst things about old YCA was you'd basically risk your life every time you left the facility because of just how the road was kind of laid out. This is quite a busy road here. Your viewership, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, not the best coming out of that junction there. So I can't believe we all made it through, to be honest. So again, we'll just leave this rolling because we are so close. Crazy story, the facility we're in now used to be a donkey sanctuary. Now, the donkeys are all safe, by the way. They were just moved on to pastures new, and it's not one of those things where like you get told as a kid that, you know, Fido's gone on a farm and shit like that, like my mum told to me, #trauma. But no, legitimately the donkeys were moved on, like none of them were shot or anything, so that's good, because that's the last thing. I didn't even want to kill some moles, so the last thing I want to do is upset some donkeys. So yeah, interesting fact, it was a donkey sanctuary, and then we went to view it. It was up for rent. It was up for rent on a short-term lease. We actually agreed with the building owners that we would pay them significantly more rent than what they were asking if they would let us have a longer lease of 5 years. So we've got this place for at least 5 years, hopefully longer. It's a phenomenal facility. I can't wait to show you it. So yeah, it's also easier to get into. Like, you're not going to risk anywhere near as much as your life as like you would getting out of the old or into the old YCA. So we're going to park out the very front, and then we'll walk in and do a full walk-in tour. Just to be clear and to caveat, we're still getting work done there. There's a lot going on, and it's a bit of a mess. So don't need to judge us from the following video. There's just a lot of moving parts currently. We got a lot of staff in there. There's currently a boot camp going on in there, so hopefully we'll get to see kind of what they're up to. There's someone in the road right now with a Saluki, so I'm going to slow right down, give them a wave. We got sheep in the fields either side of us. We're going to show this. Look, we got a big fucking shout out to hive signs, big signs. And actually, you know, the beauty is in the details here. If you look very closely, you will see an outline of the specimen that is my dog Stark there. Just if you look closely, just a fine little detail. I think he actually printed it maybe a little bit darker than maybe what we intended, but it's like an Easter egg to the YCA, you know? Oh yeah, I meant to park out the front and walk us in, but we're not going to do that. We're going to park it. Now, there is sessions on, there are clients going on, there are people doing their job, so I'm going to try and stay as non-disruptive as I possibly can, which it might be tricky, but okay. We're at New YCA. So again, you just saw us come down the big long driveway here, a couple of big trees. Them trees are pretty cool, right? I'm actually exceptionally proud of these trees and the foliage we have here. What I want you to notice, everyone, is just the level of greenery. I can't speak. I don't know what's going on. We call that thing Pride Rock. There's Alex going for his lunch. I guess we'll start here. So we actually have an Airbnb. We call it the bungalow because it is a bungalow. It's attached to the building, and there are currently some clients staying here at the moment. So I'd love to give you a tour of that. Maybe we'll do that in a different vlog. But yeah, it's a 2 bedrooms, got a, you know, kitchen and all that shit. It's a very nice, I'll throw some pictures up. We've had some pictures taken, but it's a very nice little establishment. If you ever want to come and visit us from afar, we've got people coming from all over the UK and Europe that are going to come and visit us to attend one of our boot camps. So, you know, if this is available, you can come and stay here for us. This is one of our trainers, Mel, with her dog. She actually copied my dog's name. His name's also Stark, being a very good boy, walking to heel, off the leash, almost to heel, nose kind of in front of toes, but that's okay. Okay, here's one of my favorite shots. Here it is. Look, bam, we've even got the van there. Again, shout out to Hive Signs, you know, it's just looking fresh, right? And here is the YCA at its entirety. It's a big old building. We've got 40 car park spaces here for 40 people plus loved ones, I guess. So I'm going to walk you through. This is the main entrance, e.g. reception. And then when we come in here, I don't know why the lights are off. We've got a bit of a shop area where you can buy your, you know, your in-demand YCA merchandise, your caps, your cups, your muzzles, your leftover, maybe possibly gone out of date food. I don't know why that's there. And again, more foliage. Now, Alicia's going to fucking hate this because she's currently on a call, but I need to show you our YouTube room so you understand where the magic normally happens. She's going to probably flip me the bird. She's definitely not going to want to be on camera. But again, I think it's really important you get the full picture here at the YCA. Sorry to bother you. See, there you go. I knew we'd get some attitude. We're doing a vlog. You're also in a vlog now. Congratulations. You're going to be on YouTube. That's brilliant. There you go. That's a client or a potential client. And this brings us on to, oh, wait a minute. Here are the goblins. Goblin 1, 2, and 3. We've got Tony, we've got Chloe, we've got Frederica, and we've got a little potato here. Pass the potato. I'm a bit cold, but should be okay. We've got the little nuggie that is Nora. Yeah, she has 2 cleft lips. She is technically not a disabled dog. However, she looks it, but she's very, very cute, and we all love her very, very much. And she was from which rescue? Breeds and Needs Rescue, and Tony's decided to adopt her. She's actually 8 years old. She looks like a puppy. No, I'm joking. No, how old is she? 5 months. She's 5 months old, so she's still a baby. My hands are cold, so I'll give her back to Mum. If you look closely under there, you'll notice there's 2 familiar faces in the form of Martha and Luigi, my beloved little sausage dogs, and then Dolly the shitbag. So there you go. They've come to work with me today. Mum is in the office, so it's daddy daycare time. There they are. They're shaking because they're not cold. There's probably some food going on around here. Alrighty. So which brings us on to classroom 1. I feel like they're having a serious conversation. I don't know. So this is our classroom, one of our main classrooms, or the main classroom. And if you have a look up here, we actually have a wall of fame. And it might make me seem like somewhat of a narcissist because there's a lot of pictures up there of me, but we got some of the great dog trainers of our time. We've had the fortune to work with over the last couple of years. You know, we've got Jerry Bradshaw, Glenn Cook, Forrest Mickey, Michael Ellis, of course, Jeremy Seapluck, there's Pat Stewart up there, Jazz Whiting, Hans Verbruggen, and of course over here we got the Mutt Nut. Now again, one of my probably favorite upgrades from original YCA is actual real bathrooms now, and my god do we have a lot of them. That one has actually even has a hand dryer. Do you know like what it does for someone's ego when their old bathroom is a Portaloo and their new bathroom you've got 5 of them and one of them has a hand dryer? That's just fucking nuts. This is Pablo. Pablo's got a very interesting story in terms of he actually was employed here to paint this room, right? So I get a phone call from someone that says, hey, I know a guy, I know a painter. I'll give you his number. So I ring this guy and I say, hey, where are you? And he's like, oh, I'm in fucking Devon or something. I don't know. He's from down south somewhere. Us Northerners don't really give 2 fucks about what's going on down south. So yeah, he comes in and paints this place. And actually, turns out Pablo wasn't a bad guy and he's doing a great job. And we actually needed a shit ton of things done around here. So Pablo never left. It's been like 6 months now. Pablo still, you know, works here. I just put him on the payroll that week. He's now a full-time employee, a full-fledged member of the YCA staffatry. That's made up, but all right. And then we have a kitchen. We're actually having this refitted at the end of the month. You know, it's not a container, right? Look at this. Look at this. This is a Ninja something or other. I don't actually know. And it makes coffee. I don't know how to use it. And in actual fact, I've been banned from using it because I tend to break these sort of things. All right. Anyway, we're going to move on. There's like a storage area out there. There's nothing really too exciting. There's loads of bathrooms. You can't move for bathrooms. There's actually 1, 2, 3, 4 bathrooms you can access from this area, which brings us on to our outdoor seating area. I'm going to put a quick before picture up of this as well. You know, in England, in January, well, now February, turns out it's pretty fucking cold. Not too much sitting around goes on around here at the moment. This area is nigh on redundant. However, in the summer, I'm thinking olive trees. I'm thinking big fucking umbrellas for our clients to sit in. So obviously we run like group classes and life skills class on Saturdays. We also run a weekly boot camp. If you're interested in those boot camps, I don't know, reach out to us somewhere or another, like DM us on Instagram, or I'll put a link in the description. Maybe that'll help, where you can apply to join one of us on our boot camps. It's got to be like the right type of dog. It's not, you don't have to apply in the case that like, you know, we only want to work with certain people. If we can't help you, we're not going to try and help you, if that makes sense. So it's got to be the right type of dog. We typically work with high energy, powerful, reactive breeds. Like that's our bread and butter, but not to say you can't bring your spaniel along, right? So yeah, this is the outdoor seating area. Summertime is great. We only call it the back end of summer with this place really, or the back end of any sort of weather you'd want to tolerate kind of being outside. And yeah, here we are. Or this is where we're going to sit down, have a coffee post group class or as part of the boot camp, so on and so forth. And again, one of my absolute favorite parts of the Yorkshire Canine Academy is this whiteboard right here. And if you remember, when you're in school, you'll have had one of these, a smart board where we can draw pictures when we're delivering theory to our clients and students and mentees and so on and so forth. And look at that, you can even rub it out with your hand, you know. And then we also have a TV where we'll do like presentations and like webinar slides and stuff like that. That's not touchscreen, but I actually had to look far and wide. It actually really bothers me, the different colors and slightly different sizes, even though on Amazon it said they're the same size. So like, anyway, so we've just laid this floor as well, and we've just ordered like a big fucking ride on, I don't know what you might call it, for Pablo. Okay, so this brings us on to one of my favorite areas, which would be the main training area, or one of the main training areas. But before we get there, this is our podcast area. If you so happen to watch our podcast, this is our podcast studio, if it will. We put that big curtain up there to like block out any unwanted natural light, so we can get the lighting just right. Kirky likes to have the lighting just right, and like his, you know, his hair and stuff, as you can imagine, he's fairly pretentious. You know, we also have some like arcade machines and stuff, because when people come visit us for like mentorship weekends and boot camps, I've actually only ever been beaten once on this via Joe McElroy. I don't think that's his name. I think that's the guy off X Factor. And again, you know, free drinks. We didn't even have a fridge in the last place. You probably didn't need one, to be fair. It was that cold. So yeah, and then we've got like a consultation area here. Again, we're currently working very hard to like get this floor down. We're currently doing some painting in there and make this the best place we possibly can. So excuse the mess is what I'm saying. Right, and sometimes, occasionally, in this room here, you're gonna find a wild Ian Kirk. Now, if you don't know, Kirky's a very introverted person. Likes to keep himself to himself, so we call this the sensory room. The sensory room is because it's padded. And interesting fact about the sensory room, it has 18 plug sockets. We have no fucking idea why. I'm actually a little bit scared to go in there, but hey ho, another bathroom. This is the disabled toilet. This one, you know, a bit more spacey, so easy to access, and of course it's got a light. Why wouldn't it? Over there is pretty boring. It is just storage really, but it brings us on to the main room. Minaj, I think, like Nicki Minaj, which again, look how much room you have for activities here. You know, this is where I guess they used to lunge donkeys and shit, but nowadays we do group classes here, we do our boot camps on here, obviously run our PSA club on here and so on and so forth. It's a big old area considering it's indoors. There is a bit of an echo, but it's phenomenal. And before we head up there, it has a viewpoint as well. It has a veranda, if you want to call it that, which I think is super fucking cool. So when the boot camp's going on, you can sit in there, have a coffee, watch other people train and shit. So we'll head up there now. There's Simao, he's from Portugal, lives in Spain. Well, he lives in the UK, obviously, but he did live in Spain. This is what we call the boardroom. This is where people will, like Simao now, have his lunch, have his piri-piri chicken, considering he's a Portuguese fellow. And that's where we do team meetings and shit. There's a big old table. I'd typically just stand at the end and like fucking bang my fist there. This is, I don't really know what this is. Sometimes when staff members have been naughty, we send them up here to work for here for a little bit. There's no natural sunlight, so it's like a bit of a punishment. There's some biscuits over there. It's where we keep all of our merchandise, e.g. the OG textbook, you know, the YCA hoodie. Shout out to Mohammed, he brings them in for us from wonderful Pakistan. So it takes us to downstairs. We're back to the Minaj, back to the podcast area. We're gonna leave Kirky in his cave because, you know, albeit he's my best friend, he can terrify, man. Here we have more minions, look. These ones, they're allowed natural sunlight because they've been on their best behavior. So we are allowing them some sunlight at the moment because they're currently making money for the business. Here's the two OGs, of course, Ranger and Darla. They actually don't typically come to work with me because they like being at home with their mum. However, today we've got everyone, and we got Starkey in there. He has to be created because he's an absolute fucking menace, and we'll just terrorize these all day. So chilling out in his crate, I'll get him out after we finished up this vlog. There he is. And of course we've got Maggie, Suzanne and Michael. Maggie's our operations manager, make sure we make money to pay for all this fucking cool shit that you're seeing today. Suzanne actually creates our YouTube, so if you follow us on YouTube, you have her to thank for all the great content. And Michael's in charge of our paid advertisement, so you can thank Michael for all those spammy fucking ads we send you every single day. So you probably like Suzanne, you probably don't like Michael as much, and you'll probably never see Maggie. She works in the back end of things. Anyway, we'll carry on. Bye. You want to come with? Ranger's going to come with us. Range, come here. Heel. Look at this. Watch this. Heel. Okay, sit. It's not that good. So you sit. Kobe really let me down earlier, so you got to like pull one out for the team. Ready? Ranger, foos. There it is, almost there. All right, come on then. This is the main car park. To the left over here, we have the staff car park. A couple of months ago, we bought all of our staff new vans, look. So you see these custom vans. Yeah, they're all like our trainers' vans. You know, they're transporting dogs back and forth, their own dogs, sometimes clients' dogs, taking them to the park and shit. So we wanted to just make sure everyone was looked after, obviously our staff and their clients. I've lost my dog, so I'm gonna go find him. Range, come here. I don't know where he went. Oh, there he is, look. Hey, good boy. Alrighty. Now, these stables, of course, that were for donkeys once upon a time. We're not sure what to do with these stables. We got two options, and you're gonna give me a vote. We're either gonna open it as like a kennels, but I think it could get really noisy. We make like little fucking Airbnb Scandinavian like mini like lodge type things for our clients to come and stay. I think that's probably the better option. So I think we're gonna kit these out at some point and have it as like a living quarters for all the wonderful people that come and visit us from all over the world. So, and then we've got our main field. I call it the main field. I don't know why. I guess it's because it's the biggest one. Oh, again, February in England. Well, it's your own fault. Go around. Go around. Have I got to come down there and let you out? You could probably jump over there. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you're going to hurt yourself. Oh, crazy. Fair enough. Good boy. Interesting fact, there's actually magic mushrooms that grow on this field. Not that I've actually ever taken them. And again, not that I wouldn't. I just not had the opportunity to yet. I don't know. I don't think dogs try and eat them, or like, I don't know. Maybe we're going to get some high as fuck dogs around at some point. Anyway, this is field number 1. It's a good size. There's a bit of a slope there. This is where we do most of our group classes when we head outside and obviously practice recall and shit like that. And we're almost coming to the end, but I'm only just realizing now how big of a space this actually is. This next field, very originally named, is field number 2, but that's because it's in between field number 1 and 3. Okay, maybe this isn't a finer detail because it broke, but up until recently, this was a finer detail in that, there it is a finer detail. If you look around the place, you ever forget your shit bags, we've got these cool YCA, maybe we should sell these, but they're all around the place as well. And perfect example, look, of why they need to be around the place, because the Rangers just let out a big steamy one. So, you know, it's finding it is the job. Ranger's actually pretty good, you know. He actually tends to, and I haven't trained him to do this, but you know, he's just inherently a good boy. He just tends to shit in bushes and like shrubbery and that. Now, the fields to the left of us over there are not owned by us, so we're not technically allowed to use them, but they're owned by the council and no one uses them, so sometimes we do. But not that we need to, because we just got a fuck ton of fields ourselves. Alrighty. I think we have to go in that way, yeah. All right, and then this is field number 3, which you can tell by these like reed type grasses is the moistest field. That's another made up word. So hence why it's a little bit boggy here. I'd be preferentially using field number 1. Here is our, I don't know what this is. This might be a menage as well, but here's our OG big tent. We actually got this on finance a long time ago, like £300 a month, and it was like a bit of a stretch, but we needed someone to cover us. Interestingly, we've only just paid that off. If I were to buy that today, I'll just buy it in full. Sometimes we'll bring out like a puppy class up here or something. I think this area is going to come into its own in the summer when you want to be outside, but you want to get out of the sun. All 3 fucking days of it here in the UK. So yeah, that's a shed. We don't really use that for anything. I think there was talks at some point of making it like a bit of like a hut for Ian Kirk to fucking, oh God. Now this is boggy. This is what I mean by the moist field. He's not bothered by it. We're gonna have to go up the side here. This was a terrible choice. I immediately regret my fucking decision to come down here. But I don't know. Lucas, you okay? Which brings us on to the sports barn. Now this is a state-of-the-art, both dog and human physical fitness facility, I guess, an FFF. We've got bicep curls, we've got the bench press, we've got dips. You can't see a fucking squat rack anywhere apparently. We're only doing uppers around here nowadays. Up the top over here though, we've got the doggy treadmill, which no one ever fucking uses, so that was a waste of money. We've got the round bike table, which again, no one really ever uses, another waste of money. We've got a spring pole for our GRC dogs, if you know what that is. If you don't know, give it a Google. We've got some bite work stuff and all the rest of it. This is like Rocky's gym, but for dogs and humans. So you can come here, train with your dogs. And I don't really know, I never really come in here, but there's a hula dress here for some reason. I think Kevin was using it the other day. We'll get a shot of Kevin up on the spring pole. There's one, look. So Chloe's here to give us a demonstration on exactly what the fuck is going on here. Range, there you are, look. And this is a sport apparently. I have no fucking idea what we're intending to achieve, but the dogs like it, and apparently Chloe likes it too. So I don't know, seems kind of dangerous, but here we go. There you go. I don't know whether, there you go. And now the aim of the game is to really just hang on as long as they can. So this is called spring pole. Hopefully we don't see a dog break their neck right now. But yeah, these type of dogs that have the genetic inclination to want to hold on to shit and not let go, sometimes you're better off giving them a substituted outlet for those drives instead of it being like, you know, someone's toddler or something. So hence why we do stuff like this. And this is it, you just stand there and watch now. I do PSA where there's a lot more going on, but you know, not to take any credit away from Dolly here, or Chloe for that matter. There you go. Yeah, yeah. And she's having the best time. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah, good girl. Come on, Lucas. So yeah, that's the sports barn. Here's another one of their vans. Pretty much every single fucking member of staff has decided to damage their new van, which I think is great. I think Nia, without exception, but to be fair, I've bumped my truck recently, so I can't really talk. There's also more sheds here. Another interesting fact about YCA 2.0 version Mega Center, there's like 7 sheds. We had to take one down because we just had too many sheds we didn't know what to do with. I've never actually ever been in either one of those sheds. It could be full of dead bodies. I actually have no idea. Have you been in those sheds? No? Yeah, let's go take a look. Again, it could, I don't really know. It's just an empty shed. So I'm sorry if this made an extremely fucking boring part of the vlog. I'm not gonna look in the other one. We're just gonna presume that one's also an empty shed. Come on, Rach. There's a little bit of a garden going on here. Maybe we can get Pablo to do some sort of, you know, feature. Again, we've not met all the team, but I intend to do a vlog, you know, just to introduce the team. Again, 2 more sheds here, and then we're back around to the stables and therefore YCA's entrance. But anyway, that's been the tour of the center, the comparison to YCA version 1.0. We better get back to work. I'm actually a little bit peckish, so I'm gonna go look for some food. Appreciate you joining me, and we'll see you in, we're gonna do more vlogs like this. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, we probably won't do any more. So give us a like and a thumbs up and all that subscribe stuff. If you don't know, every penny that YouTube pays us for your viewership for this channel, it actually goes to a dog charity. So just last month we gave it to a charity, I want to say California. I'll put a little picture up here of who it was and what the charity was and the details, so you can check them, all the great work they're doing out and yeah, that's been us today. So yeah, if you just give us a like or a subscribe, you're going to help dogs out and yeah, help support what's going on here and what we're doing. So we're going to get out of the way before we get run over, and we'll see you in the next one.